In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this sling bag or bum bag inspired by a popular French fashion brand. There is a sewing pattern available for this, the link is down in the description, so hit that and it will take you to an instant download. For fabric, you want a sturdy woven like a canvas or twill. Upholstery fabrics work well, but this also works for faux leather. You will need to cut the following: your bag top, which you need in your main fabric, and a lining fabric. I used a simple quilting cotton for lining. You then have fusible fleece interfacing. This is 4mm deep, but if you want a more structured bag, you can go deeper. This is cut from its own pattern piece. Next, you have your same 3 layers for your body, main, lining, and then a slightly smaller interfacing. The back differs as we will be inserting a zipper pocket perfect for your phone or passport, documents you need to keep safe. So the back is split up into the top edge, the bottom edge, and the side zipper. For these you have main fabric and lining fabric, the sides you only have main. Then you have your pocket bag, which is what you see when you open your back zipper. You could do this in a fancy print if you want for fun. Then you have your back section as a complete shape in your lining and then your interfacing. If you want a really structured bag, firm and not collapsing in any way, this interfacing I would cut in a thin foam. Added to this, we have front side tabs cut from the main fabric, which is the junction to our straps for the front. Then we have handle tabs for both the top handle here and for the strap. I have cut these in faux leather so they stand out and add an element of interest to my bag. On top of that, you will require zippers, 30cm and 50cm. You can buy ready cut zippers or you can make your own with a continuous zipper tape. I have a video on how to convert your zipper to a two-way zipper as I have used here. It means you can open your bag up in both ways, which is great when you're out doing things, so I do recommend that adaptation, so hit the link. Next is our hardware. All this hardware is 30mm wide. You need 2 rectangular rings, a buckle, and a tri-slider so you can adjust your strap length. You can save money by skipping the buckle if you are happy with it having going on over your head only. The final item you need is strap webbing. This is 25mm wide. If you can't find 25mm wide and get a different size, be aware that your hardware needs to be slightly larger than your strap to fit. The first thing to do is attach our interfacing layers to the wrong side of our lining fabric. We do this for the top, body and back section. Make sure you align them centrally. There is a 1cm seam allowance extra on the lining fabric. When sewing, press and lift your iron before moving it to the next section. Don't slide it across your fabric. The back section is formed working from the zipper out. This process is repetitive. Once you've mastered it, we'll be doing it for all the different parts, building up the full bag. To begin, align your 30cm zip with your back zipper edge top, right sides together. Match the centres when you do this. You can work with pins or clips. If you are using faux leather, you can't use pins as they will leave a permanent hole in the fabric. You can also base sew this together at this point. Add your lining fabric of the back zipper edge top on top. Aligning as before, right side of the lining fabric facing the wrong side of the zipper. Sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It can be helpful to use a zipper foot on your machine for this. Press this open, then top stitch down this edge with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. I'm using a contrast thread for the top stitching to add interest to my bag, but you can match it if you wish. That's the first side and the process we're going to keep using. Next we'll do it on the opposite side of the zipper for the back zipper edge bottom. So align the right side of the zipper to the right side of the back zipper edge bottom. Baste together if you want more control as you work. Then align the lining fabric of the back zipper edge bottom, this time the right side of the lining fabric facing the wrong side of the zipper. So with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Press flat and then top stitch at 1/8 inch, mirroring the opposite side. That is our zipper opening. Now we want to add the internal pocket bag. I cut this in my lining fabric. You could cut it in something a bit more bright so it's a nice surprise when you open your zip if you wish. Just align it with the zipper section we've just formed, the right side of the lining facing one another. Base stitch at 1/4 inch. The back zipper sides are added next. We only have main fabric here and we align it so the top is level with the top edge. Do this for both sides and sew with a 1 cm seam allowance. Press open and top stitch with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Our main back fabric section is almost done. So at this point we're going to cut it to shape. Take your lining fabric back and align it on top. Cut your main fabric to match your lining fabric. Depending on your fabric choices, you may have to trim the lining fabric slightly too. That's fine. You just want the two parts to match shape. The reason you have this difference is simply due to the thickness of your fabric you have used. A very thin fabric will press flatter and be larger. A thick wool, like mine, has a large turn of cloth and measures up smaller. The strap hoops are cut in a contrast fabric. I used faux leather. This method of construction is made so you can do it with faux leather, so fold it in half wrong sides together. Then fold in each edge either side of this fold by 1 cm. Sew down each side with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. If you are working with regular fabric here, press with each stage. Faux leather doesn't take heat though, without damage, so I use lots of clips. Thread your rectangular ring onto your strap hoop and fold it in half. Align to the sides of your back main fabric section. You need a clearance of 1 cm minimum top and bottom, so get it central. Baste in place with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The top handle is a piece of strap webbing cut to 18 cm. If you have large hands or intend to wear this in the winter with thick gloves on, you may want to make this bigger and attach it further out on top of the bag. Burn your cut ends with a quick pass of the flame to stop fraying, or use a product like Fray Check. Place this on the main fabric top in the marked boxes. Sew securely with a zigzag stitch up both ends. The handle tabs are again cut in faux leather. This is a simple rectangle of fabric that the sides are pressed under by 1 cm. It is small and can feel fiddly. Your fabric choice will change how you handle this. If you have faux leather, use glue in place of your pins or clips to get a neat sharp fold. If you have regular fabric, consider hand basting in place as you go, working your way round. If you don't get this sharp, it shows quite a lot on the final bag, so take your time with this. Place the square right side up, overlapping the edges of the handle. Sew around the exterior with a 1/8 inch seam allowance and then sew diagonally from corner to corner. That handle is so secure now. You have it locked in down with several stitching lines. The main zipper needs to be 50 centimeters in length. If you are using a continuous zipper before you begin, burn the ends to prevent fraying as you work. Again, check out my video for a double pull zip conversion above for here if you want that. We align the zipper along the body top straight edge first, matching the centre points. The right side of the zipper will face the right side of the main fabric. Then place the body lining fabric on top, the right side of the lining fabric facing the wrong side of the zipper. Sew with a 1 centimeter seam allowance this time. Press open and top stitch with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Next, we do the other side. This is more difficult due to the curve, but we should be familiar with the process now. Align the curved edge of the top main fabric to your zipper. Match the centre points and pin or clip. When you do this, it may be easier to work from the centre to the side, then return to the centre point and work to the opposite side. It just helps you have more control over the bulk of fabric you're manipulating under your machine. Sew with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Check your work, and now we do the other side just the same. Check you have no tucks or gathers. Fix them now before proceeding. Flip it back inside out and align your top lining fabric in the same manner. Match the centre point, right side of lining against the wrong side of the zipper. Work one side, then return to the centre point and work to the other side. You're stitching on the same 1 centimeter seam allowance we just used. As always, press and then top stitch with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. If you're struggling to press flat, clip a few V's out of your seam allowance to let it lay flat. Don't do too many unless you have to, as this actually adds a bit of body and structure to the bag to hold its shape. Front tabs are applied to the front section now. This part is a little less intuitive, but it isn't difficult. The front tab goes on the side of the front with the bottom edge aligned with the notch on the pattern. It goes over the zip and extends by 1 centimetre roughly. The trick with this is you need to angle it so that when the tab is folded out correctly, you get a smooth, almost straight top line. There is no notch to help you do this because there is a lot of flexibility when attaching these curved zips with different thickness of fabric. So just experiment a little and move it a little till you get a smooth top line. Sew with a 1 centimetre seam allowance, using the edge of your tab as your guide and not your front bag. Top stitch this with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. When you've done this step, you may need to trim behind this area slightly. You're aiming for no large steps or jumps that will create gaps when finishing this project. To attach the back, we begin with the lining fabric. Attach this with right sides of the lining facing inside the bag. Align centre points, the corners of the tab, and then work your way around the rest, easing the curved areas near the base. Use pins or clips. You will have excess fabric in the tab area. That's right, and we will trim this later. Sew around this entire edge with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. I use a zipper foot on my machine as it lets me get in closer. At the corners, make sure you pivot to get a nice sharp point. Trim away the excess fabric on your front tabs. You can see your bag shape now. We now repeat this process with the back main fabric section, this time with right sides of the fabric facing one another. You will have bulk now, but it does work. Pin all the way around as we did previously. We will sew it leaving a 3-inch gap at the base, but do pin this area to give yourself more stability as you sew. At the tab area we have our rectangular rings, and be aware this may cause issues on your machine. What you need to do here is as you work you may need to unpin the opposite side of this tab extension so you can push the ring down out of the way of your needle. Then work your way around and repin it, pushing that hardware back up against the top seam out of the way of your needle again. Take it slow and feel what's under before sewing. Clip the curved areas and the corners of the tabs. Turn this carefully the correct way round through the hole that we left ourselves. Press all around the edge so it is sharp if your fabric choice allows you. Then, with a hand sewing needle, close up this bottom gap. Finally, we attach our strap to our bag. You can measure a straight length of strap webbing to what you need and attach it to both rings and be done. Or you can add a buckle and sliders as shown to allow you for an adjustable length. The choice is yours. So there we have it, a sling bag with an adjustable buckle strap and a top grab handle, a central pocket and a back secure pocket for all those things you want to keep safe. You can wear it round your waist, over your chest, under your arm or on your back hip. It's a great bag for activity days as you still have plenty of room but your hands are free. It's a great bag for busy parents who need their hands free to hold children. Enjoy wearing your bag and do share your makes to inspire others. My name is Elfie Sew and I create sewing tutorials and other sewing content for all abilities. Please like and subscribe to stay notified of new videos. Join in and happy sewing!